Good morning, everybody. It's Dr. Palmer. I wanted to give you some information on the next upcoming modules, modules 7, 8, and 9. They have due dates for the 19th, July 19th by 11:59 p.m. Your activities that you need to be submitting. As you can see, I'm in student view, so I'm viewing the course as you view it. So I'm on the home page. I'm just going to click on the module link. That's where everything is grouped and organized. Your dates will pre-populate. So modules 7, 8, and 9, I see here is July 19th. So these are the next group of modules. You may hear my cat baby in the background, so just be aware of that. We'll just kind of look really quickly at a glance. I have my chapter readings and PowerPoint screencast reminders. I have a discussion forum. I have a quiz, chapter reminder, screencast reminder, discussion forum, and an exam. Exam 1. Let's see here. Chapter reminder, an assignment, and then a quiz. All right. I wanted to show you one of the suggestions, as I mentioned in the earlier screencast, was give more examples in the PowerPoint screencast. And again, I mentioned that those PowerPoint screencasts, I would say like 98% of them I single-handedly created totally on my own. I didn't upload an instructor resource. I created it on my own with the closed captioning, but they're just meant to be just a basic overview of the highlight of the chapter. And again, I would recommend reviewing that before you start reading and studying the chapter, making your own notes and that type of thing. And the chapter has lots and lots of individual examples on some of the topics and concepts. However, if you look at Module 7 on management, leadership, and the internal organization, what I have been doing for you this entire time of the course is I have been giving you supplemental resources for you to review that enrich your learning experience. These resources, in essence, are further examples of some of the topics in the chapter. So yes, it's not on the visual, that may not be on the visual, although I did give you examples on some of the visuals. But again, the screencasts are just a brief outline of what's to come when you read and study the chapter material. But here are some additional resources that I'm giving for you to enrich your learning experience, to supplement your learning experience. So, you can go into these and you will see that there's some information in there for you to review to enrich your learning experience. So be sure to look at those. Let's just go back to click modules and scroll back down. Okay, so we're just looking at Module 7. You have a discussion forum, and again, you want to click on that and see, okay, what is it that we have to do? You're going to research a firm. This is about organizational culture. These questions are just simply module outcomes associated with this forum. I'm showing you how the learning objectives, the course and module objectives are aligning with the assignments and forums that I am creating for you and for you to work on. So in essence, it kind of tells you, hey, this is why you're doing this, it's to help you define management better. It's to help you explain the role of setting a vision and ethical standards for the firm, describe the strategic management process. All of these elements are within this activity, either directly or indirectly. And be sure you want to post to a classmate's posting as well. You can scroll down. Excuse me, baby, please be quiet. Thank you. Sorry. If you look at your rubric, it'll show you what you're going to be graded on, okay? So it's very important that you are examining the rubric to make sure you are hitting on all cylinders when it comes to those points. Okay, so let's go to Module 8. Do not forget your quizzes. And you have an exam. It's actually going to open. I'm just going to click on it and let's see what it says in student view. It's going to open on Friday, July 17th at 12:01 a.m. and it will close on Sunday, July 19th at 11:59 p.m. You do have 20 questions and it is timed at 6 60 minutes. So be sure that you take that exam within the deadline. And also be sure you're managing your time wisely. I mean, I have due dates here. Things need to be submitted by the deadline. If you have a verifiable excuse, some sort of documentation that you can send me, you know, doctor's note, you know, funeral, something like that, a religious holiday. And then to be honest with you, I think the only thing the university accepts is a religious holiday. So to be honest with you, I think that's the only thing Miami accepts. But anyways, you know, sending me an email, just for example, sending me an email and say I'm not going to be able to get this in, you know, until tomorrow, and or things like that. I need something a little more than that. I just do. I mean, you have to manage your time wisely. You have to manage your time effectively. I'm a firm believer, if you manage your time effectively, you can get everything that you need to get done in your day, your week, your month, your quarter, your year. Okay? So I'm going to need a little more than just, oh, I'm sorry, I'm not able to get that in, but I'll get it in tomorrow. If it's after the due date, I'm going to need something more verifiable of why you didn't get that in, okay? So be sure you're planning out your week and time. And the course is totally set up for you, so you can look ahead, glance at the instructions, and see what it entails. You know, is it an experiential learning experience? Are you going to have to go out and do something? Or can you do it from the comfort of your computer? So keep that in mind. Module 8. We're looking at human resource management. So Module 7 is more about just management in general, you know, planning, organizing, leading, that type of thing. And then we're getting into more HR, more of a focused area of management. You have your module outcomes, module at a glance, PowerPoint presentation, of course your chapter readings, and then you have several, again, examples or supplemental resources or activities, enrichment activity resources for you to review, and then your concrete module activities at the bottom. So again, don't forget to look at those resources. There's many, many more. You can find some on your own as well. Those are, you know, obviously those aren't the only ones, but they're ones that I like and, you know, I would use to enrich my learning process. So I wanted to forward them on to you. Let's see here. Keep in mind, just real quick before we go in this, you will have a discussion of labor laws. So this is what you're going to be discussing. Research one of the major labor laws. Be sure you're answering all that. You can add to it if you'd like, you know. Critical analysis is a part of this. Well, actually it's not. Grasping of key concepts. Ideas are expressed clearly and concisely. Okay. But it's always good to do everything with a critical analytical point. But yes, always review it so you'll see. And again, the module outcomes associated with this assignment. Again, you don't answer these questions. This is the bulk of what you need to be focusing on. So labor laws, we're going to look at some of those. Let's look at module 9. And then we're going to look at things, it's, you know, it's still kind of this is kind of like a leadership kind of area, motivating, empowering, influencing, communicating. So again, I've given you several resources for you to review. Conflict management strategies, avoiding, accommodating, compromising, collaborating, and competing. Just keep in mind that collaborating is the best conflict management strategy to use. However, based on the situation and the circumstance and even the individual, you may want to go into some of these other modes as well, but always strive to be more of a collaborating conflict management manager or technique. You know, you don't have to be in a manager role to use these strategies. You can use them in any role in your professional life, and you can also use them in your personal life as well. Okay, so keep that in mind. When I learned conflict management strategies, it was life-changing for me. So I hope it's life-changing for you as well. You also have stages of team development here, which is just a PDF file forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. One of the most kind of aha moments is that storming stage. When you're working with other people, it's normal to go through personality conflicts and differences, but you want to get past that to the norming stage where you're working together as a cohesive unit and performing onward after that. So that's kind of one of the main things about stages of team development. Learning this was life-changing for me, so I hope it's life-changing for you as well. So just kind of again, just real quick, when you're working with a team, forming is when you're, making introductions, shaking hands, getting to know people who's on your team. Storming is when people are kind of clashing for roles, divvying for spot leadership roles. Arguing can happen. And a lot of times teams think, oh, we're not working well together, this isn't going to work. It's actually a very normal process of team development, but you want to get past that into the norming stage and then even further into the performing stage, and then sometimes even teams dissolve. I'm on a task force with the Middletown Chamber of Commerce, so I'm on an actual task force team. We're getting together to do some work about influencing leaders in the community and that type of thing. And so at some point, the team may adjourn. So adjourn is also at a stage as well. Some teams stay together longer than others. Some don't. But so again, the stages of team development and conflict management strategies, these are all life-changing concepts when I learned them, and you have some other resources there as well. So let's see what you have for Module 9. You have an assignment on body language. I'm a firm believer that it's very, very important, and this actually goes to emotional intelligence, and so I'll probably add another resource into this module. But being able to pick up on people's body language, their body cues, and kind of understanding what they're feeling, what they're thinking. Actually, emotional intelligence is some of the main things about that is being, you've heard of being academically intelligent. Emotional intelligence, or like an IQ, emotional intelligence, EQ, is being aware of your own emotions and what you're feeling at any given point in time during the day, being able to handle and manage those and then stifle them if they're negative, like anger, frustration, depression, being able to understand the emotions of other people and manage those relationships more effectively because of that. If you were highly emotionally intelligent, for example, you wouldn't be rude or offensive to other people because you would, respect their feelings and wouldn't want to hurt them, and you would want to have a positive working relationship with this person and not a negative one. So emotional intelligence is another thing that I've learned through my leadership studies that was life-changing to me. And so I'll post something in there as well. But you have an assignment about body language communications. You can go anywhere. You can visit a college library, a mall, or anywhere people gather. And you're going to be observing some of those nonverbal cues. You have some questions there. You're going to write it up in a one-page Word doc file. I do want you to adhere to APA standards, for example, Times New Roman font style, 12-point font size, double space, indent your paragraphs. If you go over one page, you want to put page numbers in the upper right-hand corner, and you do want to cite any information with appropriate resources where applicable. If you fuse in, if you do fuse in any type of outside resource, a website, and, the textbook, anything like that, you want to cite that and document it in your paragraph in parentheses. Okay, and you have this grading rubric is automatically coming up. So you want to look at it. This is a little bit different grading rubric here and how you're going to be graded. So take a look at that grading rubric, okay? All right. Well, I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will talk to you all soon. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you all online. Thank you.